Hey everyone, just wanted to make a video talking about my plans for my final Atlas passive tree. I've had some time to review all the nodes, watch everyone's videos of the best nodes, the best trees, all the bullshit, and I've come up with what I want to do for my what's going to be my final passive tree. Again, I've kind of delved deep and really looked at all the options, and also this tree is partly influenced by the kind of playstyle I like, so it may not be the best bosser, it may not be the best, obviously, a lot of things, because I don't spec into a lot of different stuff, but only certain things. So this tree that I primarily have, it is heavily geared towards dense mapping and with a little bit of bossing. So it's definitely not completely a fully fledged bosser tree. It's definitely geared towards endgame mapping. So what are the goals for this tree? Number one, high density, high pack size, just lots of monsters. And I do have some nodes I took just to increase rewards, but really a lot of it just comes down to high density maps. So I'm going to go through here kind of what I selected and my reasoning for it. So, and just to kind of give a brief summary, the main things I spec into is going to be Delirium, Ritual, Blight, and Beyond. Those are going to be the main things, but there are some other side things that I spec into, and I'll go over now. So first things first, initially just in the beginning of the tree, I am starting out with Twice Tempted. I think this is just amazing for 3 points, because not only do you now get an extra strong box in every single map, but for these 2 points here, you have now a 30% chance for the strong box to be guarded by an additional pack of monsters. And one thing to note, it's not just this strong box, it's any strong box. So for 3 points, the potential increase in pack size for just these 3 points is crazy. It's definitely too good not to take if you're focused on mapping. But even if you're focused on bossing, honestly, these 3 points is just like, honestly, for the amount of points you're spending and how close it is to the initial start of the tree, I think pretty much every single Atlas tree should take these nodes. I think they're literally just that good, that they should pretty much be an auto-include in most builds. That's just my opinion, of course. But Essence, I'm not a super big fan of Essence, and I kind of looked at this, and just one additional Essence in every map, it's just not, and rare item with Essence modifier is just doesn't seem that good for 3 points as compared to Twice Tempted. So that's why I picked up that, and I'm staying away from the Essence. I'm just not also generally a big fan of Essence, so I may be a little bit biased, but definitely doesn't seem anywhere as good as Twice Tempted. Next one I'm getting is just the rare monsters. This may not seem like much, but over the course of the league, this is going to really add up, because for 3 points, you get 3 additional monsters per map, and then they'll have a chance to drop basic currency item and jewelry. The jewelry is kind of meh, and it might be a little bit better now with the changes to the jewelry nodes, or the jewelry suffixes, prefixes, in that you can now get the plus to skills naturally, so that makes it a little better. But the currency is also a nice little bonus, because 1% chance for additional basic currency item, that's not bad for 1 point. It's definitely worth 1 point, and these ones are just nice because now you get 3 extra rares per map. So 4 points in total, I think, is definitely a good one. Supplication. This is a pure, not only pack size increasing node or wheel, but it is also a very good quality of life wheel. Basically, these through the 3 travel nodes to it give you a 75% increased duration of effect of the shrine. Basically that means is once you find the shrine, kill the mobs, get your extra pack of monsters, you will now have a buff that lasts for like probably around a minute, maybe more. I don't know the exact time, but this is pretty darn good for the 4 points here. And it also is nice because it leads straight into getting an additional Harbinger per map. So I think for an additional 4 points coming out from there, the currency shards or whatever, but having that extra Harbinger every single map for the entire league for 5 points, or for 4 points, I'm sorry, it's just too good not to take. Just that extra pack size for just 4 points is just so good. So this whole initial area just has a lot of initial pack size boosting points. The strongbox, the shrine, 3 rare monsters, and Harbinger now in every single map. So that's very good. And again, you may be wondering why I don't have the Shaping Skies and Shaping Mountains allocated. Again, this is an endgame tree, so at some point I might take these initially to help just with map sustain and just get more maps and fill out the atlas faster. But endgame, probably definitely don't need these. So yeah. So then, as I mentioned, I'm really going to spec into Ritual and Delirium. So basically, going heavy on this left side here, I'm taking every single Ritual and Delirium node pretty much. So I went down here, picked up Sacred Lands, 4% chance to contain Ritual Altars. I mean, if you're going to spec into Ritual, this is pretty much required. There's just no question about it. Same thing here. Areas have 4% chance to contain Mirror of Delirium. Also basically required. If you're going to spec into these points, you have to have that base percent chance for it to spawn. You have to take that. I avoided the Bestiary and the Blight here. I just don't find these wheels too good, and again, I'm not really interested in Bestiary, and I am interested in Blight, but I don't find these nodes particularly enticing. I just don't see Blight bosses drop an additional Anointed Druid item. It's kind of whatever. Oil Extractors, kind of whatever. And Immune Response, I spec'd into this before when I was playing, and I didn't really like it. I just, the whole just spawning the monsters faster, it doesn't really do much because it just makes the encounter go quicker, but it doesn't really technically change the density. It may play a role because of Beyond, but so I might actually try Immune Response again just to get the mobs to come out faster, and so the portals can merge and get more Beyond bosses. But for now, I decided to kind of steer clear of this, so yeah. We'll see. I might end up picking those up. That's to be determined. Get all the Beyond stuff, so obviously I'm going to get Fiendish Opulence, basic currency item. It's fine. There's really kind of not much else to say. It's just more currency stuff. Is it worth the 6 points? Honestly, maybe not, but I decided to take it for now because it's all Beyond stuff. Blight, this Blight wheel is very good. More maps, increased chance for maps or oils, and this base encounter chance. So these base encounter chances are very important. These nodes, pretty much whatever league content you're going to spec into, you definitely want to get the base chance to spawn the encounter in the map, because that's going to make a huge difference on the amount of times you see it. So if anything, this top wheel could maybe be optional, but this bottom wheel is definitely required. And additional Blight encounter is crazy good. So this wheel is a little interesting. You might see that I didn't spec into everything here, and I took these minor nodes. But again, I took these minor nodes because they are the base chance to spawn a Delirium Mirror in a map. So these 3 nodes at the bottom here are very important. I'd actually say these 3 nodes, you can take this wheel just for these 3 nodes and ignore everything else. I did decide to take the Dissipate Fog slower, so I have just some extra time to clear the map, and so the Delirium doesn't end sooner. I've had some encounters where I wanted the Delirium to stay, but it just went away too quick. So that's why I decided to take that, and I don't really care about it going super quick, because unless I get like a Headhunter or just a super, I don't think my build is going to be a insanely fast map clear, so not really interested in Descent into Madness, but this base Delirium chance is really the most important stuff here. Moving on, this is just kind of a nice one for 3 points, and the base, again, base Ritual Altar chance, this is really important. The tribute's kind of whatever, but again, the base chance. And sacrificial, the 10% chance for Bloodfilled Vessel to get after you finish Ritual, just pretty nice. So yeah, not too bad. Kind of overall increases your likelihood to spawn more Ritual in the future, so quite good. This one, Scent of Blood, obviously this is just required. This is the base chance to get Beyond to spawn, 3% chance. This is absolutely a required wheel if you want to go Beyond. So nothing really to say about that. Coming down here, I definitely really wanted to get the 2 additional rerolls because a lot of times the more rerolls you can get, the more potentially valuable items you can find. So the reroll is honestly pretty important to me. And I decided to go for the 25% increased chance for special rewards. I'm really not entirely sure how good of a role these nodes play an influence, but I figured I'd get them instead of the 15% less tribute cost. That's kind of whatever. I'd rather have more chance for rewards. That's just me. I like rewards, so yeah. Here, more Beyond stuff. Torn Veil is also pretty much required, similarly to Scent of Blood if you're gonna go spec into Beyond. This Demon Beyond chance is actually really good. I just unfortunately don't have the points for it, so I decided to leave this one off. But this is actually also a really good travel node, but getting these bottom ones here for the merging radius. And then obviously going up here and getting all this delirium stuff. So I have 3 points left, and I think this is bugged because it's not counting these 3 nodes here, hence why I have 3 points left. So I think these are supposed to be allocated. I think it's just kind of the tree is kind of bugged here. So, but encounters have 8% chance to generate 3 additional wards. That's great. And then more additional chance, stack size of splinters, just all great stuff. And Pathological, I think, is, and I agree with Sir Gog, I think that was his name, in that this is probably one of the most craziest nodes on the entire tree. Pretty much every single map you find has a chance to contain multiple, or at least one, but even multiple layers of delirium on the map. This node is just insane. Even if you're not really interested in delirium as league content, this, if you're anywhere near this area, especially if you're running along through this line right here, you should always pick up Pathological. It's just, I think this is probably one of the strongest wheels on the entire tree. So, yeah. I decided to go for Light of Dawn. This is Light of Dawn and the Liberated Knowledge here. This is kind of optional. I'm pretty much just getting it for the 25% increased chance to drop Forbidden Flame, but honestly, this is something I might spec into a little later and initially probably go for the synthesis chance to get the synthesized map drops. So that's a little bit of a toss-up between this wheel and this wheel, so that's something I was looking at there. Blight Chance here, map found, have 3% chance to contain areas, have an additional Blight encounter, so literally it's just pretty much more base chance for Blight, essentially. So definitely worth getting this for 5 points. It's not as good as obviously like Pathological, or I would say even some of the like other stuff, but definitely still worth getting for 5 points overall, especially if you're going Blight. I mean, I have to pretty much pick that up. And finishing up with the obviously what's required if you're going to go Ritual Altars. Areas with Ritual Altars always have 4 Ritual Altars. I mean, it's kind of just a no-brainer. And again, going towards this right side to get more of that base Ritual Altar chance. So that's the one you always want. So you always want to go that way. And then just picking up all the Shaper Guardian stuff because I do like that content. So that is what I have. I don't do Maven too much, so I decided not to spec there. I was considering getting tamper-proof, but it's just I think these 3 nodes is good, but then trying to reach out all the way here to get tamper-proof, it's just not really worth it to me. So I didn't get any of that. Not really into Harbinger besides that 1 additional guaranteed Harbinger every single map. This is just too good. But the extra kind of boosts is sort of kind of whatever. I'm not really trying to spec into all this other stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. I decided not to go for Harvest this league. We'll see how that works out. But as of right now, I'm really just trying to go for more purely just monster density. So if this is my tree, I'll put a link to it in the description below if you're interested in copying it. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. And league launch is coming up, so it'll be a good time. And I think I'm going to pretty much make the tree like this. I might, the only little minor changes is I'm going to spec into Shaping Skies and Shaping Mountains in the beginning. But otherwise, I'm still going to go for this. And then I'm going to really, as quick as I can, get that which you seek. and Sacred Lands, just to start getting those base chances. And then from there, I'll kind of slowly work my way up. But I'll definitely be getting Shaping Mountains and Shaping Skies in the beginning. All right, I think that's all I have for this one. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed my take on what I'm going to do for my Atlas passive tree. If you have any questions or suggestions, or if something I picked here is total garbage, or something I just completely missed that I should absolutely take, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions. And enjoy League Start. Hope you guys all have fun.